Good morning, students. Welcome to Computer Organization class. This is Veena A. Patil from Department of CSE BLE CET Vijaypur. So today we are going to learn about multiplication. Now how the system is going to perform multiplication and what is the circuit that is used to perform multiplication. Okay. So first of all, can you tell me what is multiplication? Can any of you tell me what is multiplication? Yes? Multiplication is what? It is nothing but it is repeated addition. Right? If I am performing multiplication of 2 into 2, it means number 2 has to be added 2 times. Right? If I am performing 2 into 4, it means number 2 has to be added 4 times. So repeated addition is nothing but multiplication. I hope all of you have studied multiplication when you are kids. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
I need answers, feedback. Yes? Are you listening? Have you studied multiplication? Are you there? Respond me back, only then I will go ahead. Have you studied multiplication or not?
Studied,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
To say yes, how much time you take? Okay, so let's see one simple multiplication. Though you people have done multiplication of decimal numbers, today we are going to see how to perform multiplication using binary numbers. Okay, so binary representation of 13 and binary representation of 11 is there on the slide. If you can see here, 13 is represented by 1101, whereas 11 is represented as 1011. Now, how to perform multiplication? Now, if you had a 2-digit number, say for example, if you had 2-digit number, something like, let's take 13 only, why some other number, 13 into 11. So 1 by 1 digit, I will be multiplying. So I will be multiplying 1 with 3 and I will write here. Then I will multiply 1 with 1, I will write here. Then I will shift 1 bit position and I will take the second number 1. Then I will multiply it with 3. Then I will multiply it 1. Then finally I perform addition of this product. These we call as partial products. So 3, 4, 1. So this is how I do. I hope everybody knows this, how to perform multiplication. Okay. Now the same technique we will be using here. Now two numbers are there, 13 and 11. So if I want to perform, I am going to perform bit by bit. So I will take the first bit is 1. So when I multiply this one with the multiplicand, 13 is called as a multiplicand, 11 is called as a multiplier. So when I multiply the multiplier with multiplicand, what is the answer that I'm going to get? Since it is 1, I'm going to get 1101. Right? Now I will shift by 1 bit. Then I will take the second bit from the multiplier and I am going to perform multiplication. So again I am going to get 1101. So I will write it as it is. Yeah. Then I will take the next bit of the multiplier. It is 0. So before performing multiplication, I have to perform shifting. I shifted here once. I'll shift here the next time. So 2 shift will come. If you multiply anything by 0, it will be 0. So I'm just writing zeros over here. Then I will go to the next bit of the multiplier, that is 1. When I perform multiplication of 1 with a multiplicand, I'm going to get the same multiplicand here. So I'm going to write it here after a shift. So 2-bit shift already we had done in the previous stage. So one more bit shift we have to perform and then write the multiplicand as it is. So these we call as partial product. Okay. Now all these partial product have to be added to get the product. So just go on adding these bits. So when I add it, I will get it 1 here. Similarly, when I add these 2 bits, 0 and 1, I'm going to get 1. When I am adding this set of bits, that is 1, 0, 0, I'm going to get one more 1. When I add these bits, can anybody tell me what is the answer? When I add 3 ones, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. 3 in binary is represented as 11. Right? So 1 carry and 1 have to write here. Now 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. So 2 is written as 1, 0. Right? Similarly, when I perform this, I'll get 1, 0. And when I add 1, 1, I'm going to get 1, 0. Right? So this is how we normally perform multiplication. So if you can see here, the product of 2 n-bit numbers is at most, it will be 2 n-bit number. The answer will always be 2 n-bit numbers or more. Okay. So unsigned multiplication can be viewed as addition of a shifted versions of multiplicand. What we have done here, it is nothing but it is shifted version of multiplicand. Multiplicand is 13. So we have just shifted it depending on the bits of multiplier. So this idea I want to implement. So to do that, what we do, we will see. So first of all, let us remember, we added the partial products at the end. So alternative would be to add the partial products at each stage. So instead of adding at the bottom, we can go on adding them at each stage. Okay. Now, what are the rules to implement multiplication? It is that if the ith bit of the multiplier is 1, ith bit means any bit which I take, any bit, let's say it is the ith bit, if it is equal to 1, then shift the multiplicand and add the shifted multiplicand to the current value of the partial products. So far what we have done, we have just checked the multiplier bit. Now if say any ith bit is 1, we simply, what we did, we shifted the multiplicand and added the shifted multiplicand to the current value of the partial product. So I shall clear this so that we can see it much clearly. So what we had done, depending on the bit, we simply perform shift and add. if you can see here. We simply perform the shifting and adding of the multiplier depending on the bit of I mean multiplier. Now hand over the partial product to the next stage. For every stage, I will check the ith bit of the multiplier. Let's say this is the ith bit. If ith bit is 1, I simply do adding of the multiplier. For the next bit in the multiplier, I simply shifted it and I added the multiplicand to the previous partial product, right? So I can just go on performing addition of these two now, and next addition of these two, next addition of these, so that I will get the final product. So same concept we are going to do here. So hand over the partial product to the next stage. The value of the partial product at the start stage is 0. Initially it will be 0. So just go on performing addition. So we are going to design this circuit using this multiplication cell. Now this multiplication cell, it will consist of one full adder which will have carry in, carry out, and the bits from the previous stage of, or you can say from the partial product of previous stage, and we have here ith multiplier bit which is going to decide whether addition should be there or only shift has to be performed. So this I use as a single block, this circuit. Okay, such cells, this is for 1 bit addition. Now such bit cell I use and I try to construct a multiplication circuit which I call it as a combinatorial array multiplier. Okay, so such cells, if I arrange them in this fashion as shown in the figure, okay, wherein I will be giving multiplicand's bit for the first stage of the partial product as the input. As I told you, initially the inputs of the partial product will be 0. So all zeros I am giving, and I am giving the multiplicand bit. Now this will be added depending on the value of Q0. Q0 is what? Q0 is our multiplier. Multiplier we call as Q, whereas multiplicand we call as M. Okay. So the same circuit, if you can see here, this, it is going to be constructed for each bit like this. So each bit, to get each bit, I need one such multiplication cell. Okay. So if there are 4 bits, then for each partial product, 4 such multiplication cells I need. So 4 into 4 totally, I need 16 such cells. So at the end of this, I am going to get the product, that is from P0 to P7. So we take these bits like this. Okay. Now this circuit, it is extremely inefficient. Why? Because it have a high gate count for multiplying numbers of partial size, practical size, such as 32-bit or 64-bit number. As I told you, if I want to perform multiplication, the number of bits that many number of bit cells I need, multiplication cells. So it is 4 into 4. So I will be needing 1, 2, 3, 4 into 4. That is 16. 16 such circuits. 16 full adders I need. 16 AND gates I need. Okay. So if it is say 32, then 32 into 32, that is that many number of full adders and AND gates I will be needing. If it is 64-bit number, then 64 into 64, that many number of full adders and AND gate I will be needing. So it becomes complicated. So number of gates goes on increasing, the circuit size goes on increasing. So we can perform only one function, namely unsigned integer multiplication. Using this circuit, we can perform only unsigned integer multiplication. So to overcome this, we are going to design something like wherein the number of flip-flops are, or the number of full adders are less, and the number of gates needed will be less. So improve gate efficiency by using a mixture of combinatory array technique and sequential technique. It will require less combinational logic. So we will combine the array technique and the sequential technique so that we will get a new circuit which we call it as a combinational logic circuit. Okay. Now this circuit we call it as a sequential multiplication. Now first of all, recall that the rule for generating partial product was that if the ith bit of the multiplier is 1, we just perform add the appropriate shifted multiplicand to the current partial product. What does it mean? If the bit in the multiplier was 1, what we did, we simply added the multiplicand, and if you see the next bit, that is for the multiplier, if it is 1, we simply shifted the multiplicand and we added this to the partial product, that is the previous product. Same system we are going to follow here. Now what we are going to do is, we are going to use the same technique, that is if the ith bit of the multiplier is 1, add the appropriate shifted multiplicand to the current partial product. And the multiplicand has been shifted left when added to the partial product. Now after performing the multiplication, the multiplicand has to be shifted towards left so that I can get the next bit. Okay. Now, however, adding the left shifted multiplicand to an unshifted partial product is equivalent to adding an unshifted multiplicand to a right shifted partial product. That is why in the circuit, if you can see here, this is the circuit for sequential multiplier. Now in sequential multiplier, we take 3 resistors. One I call it as the resistor A, and the another one I call it as the multiplier Q, and one more we have, that is multiplicand M. So in these 3 resistors, we are going to keep the multiplier in Q, multiplicand in M, and whatever partial product I get, I'm going to store it in A and Q together. Okay, I will use AQ to store the partial product. We are going to use one n-bit adder and a multiplexer, and also we have here the control sequencer, which is going to find out the bit in the multiplier. It will find out the bit in the multiplier If the bit is 1, it is going to add and shift the multiplicand. If the bit is 0, it will simply shift the partial product. Okay, so this is how we are going to use the substitution. Now each time the partial product is added, the result is stored back into register A and Q. By shifting the bits, including the carry bit, we are going to shift C, A, Q. For every cycle, C, A, Q will be shifted to right by 1 bit. Now, while shifting, whatever bits, whatever the last Q0 bit is seen by the control sequencer, depending on that, only shift or addition decision will be taken. If Q0 bit is 1, it will add and shift. If Q0 bit is 0, it will simply perform shifting. Okay. Now let's see how actually it happens. If I tell you like this, you will not understand. We'll take one example here. The same previous example, that is, we have here the 13 as the multiplicand and 11 as the multiplier. Okay. So to understand how this circuit works, first write down the values of CAQ. C initially carry is 0, so I will write it as 0. Partial product initially it is 0, so we write 0, 0, 0 in A register. We store 0, and I am going to store the multiplier 1, 0, 1, 1 in register Q, and the multiplicand, that is 13, 1, 1, 0, 1 in register N. Okay. So initially what happens? Initially the control sequencer will observe the bit Q0. That is the first bit of the multiplier. So this bit is observed. Now if this bit is 1, it is just going to perform add and shift. Okay. What is going to be added with what? If you see here, multiplicand is going to be added with the content of A, which is nothing but the partial product. Both are the inputs for this n bit adder. So these two bits will be added and it will be stored back into A. So let's see here. It will perform addition of A and M. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 0 is 1. So the answer, that is output of this adder, is 1101, which will be stored back into register A. So we have stored the answer in A. So no carry is generated, so carry is still 0. Now what was the value of Q? Q was 1011, so keep it as it is. Okay. Now after performing addition, it will perform shift. So C, A, Q, all the bits have to be shifted towards right by 1 bit position. So when you shift it, Q1 bit will, this is Q0, this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. So Q1 will become Q0 now, Q2 will become Q1, Q3 will become Q2, And how about Q3? The bit that is coming from register A, that is A0 bit, will become now Q3. Okay. So after shifting, what we are going to get? We will get the value as 0110101. So carry still it is 0 here. Shifted bit is considered as 0. So it will remain as 0. Okay. So this is the new value that is stored in CAQ. Now the control sequencer, it is going to see the new bit Q0. The new bit Q0 is 1 here. Again, it will perform add and shift. So this is called, first one is our first cycle. So in the second cycle, again it is finding that Q0 bit is 1. It is going to perform the same thing, that is add M and A and store back the result in A. So what is the value of A now? The value of A is 0110, whereas M still remains the same, that is 1101. So this will be added. So once you add, you are going to get 1, 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, which is represented as 10. 1 plus 1 is 2, which is represented as 10. And this one will be stored in the carry. This is the carry that is generated. So it will be stored in C. And the result will be copied in register A, that is 0011. And the value of register Q is copied as it is 1101. Now after performing addition, it is going to perform shift. Now shift CAQ by 1 bit position towards right. Once you shift the bits, you will get the new value of CAQ as C is 0. A will become this, C is shifted here. So it will become 1, 0, 0, 1, and Q will become 1, 1, 1, 0. So this will be my new CAQ, that is in the second cycle. Now after performing the second cycle, the control sequencer, it is again going to watch the Q0 bit. So what is the Q0 bit here? Q0 bit is 0. If the Q0 bit is 0, we are not going to perform any addition, because anything multiplied by 0 will be 0. So no addition will be performed. Simply shift has to be done. So no addition, only shift. Right. Now without performing addition, it is going to shift the bits. So when it no addition, so the answer will be same as that of the previous stage. So same sequence will come here. Right. Now perform the shift. Now when you shift it, when you shift the bits, you are going to get the new value of CAQ as 001001111. So this is the new CAQ value. So this is in cycle 3. That is the third cycle. Now again, the Q0 bit is being watched by the sequencer, control sequencer. Now if this bit is 1, it has to perform add M and A, then shift. So at this stage, what is the value of A? A value is 0100. M value will remain the same, that is 1101. Now perform addition of these two. So it will be 1 0 0 0 1 carry. Right? So the answer is carry 0001. The value of Q is still the same, that is 4 ones. After performing addition, shift. So shift it. When you shift towards the right, you are going to get the new value as you can see here. It is 0 1 000 and 4 ones. So this is the new value of CAQ. Okay. So how many times this should be performed? It should be performed depending on the number of bits in the multiplier and multiplier. Since there are 4 bits, so this has to be repeated 4 times. So after performing 4 times, at the end of the 4th cycle, whatever value is there in A and Q will give you the product. So this is the working of the sequential circuit multiplier. Okay, any doubts in this? You can ask me. Any doubts? Because division is also somewhat same, because multiplication is repeated addition, division is repeated subtraction, right? So any doubts, please ask me. If you have not understood, I will repeat it.
Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
Once again, you want me to tell? Okay, I'll tell in short. See, to perform multiplication, as we know, bit by bit we are going to perform depending on the multiplier. Now if the multiplier bit is 1, we usually just write the multiplier, right? And we add it after performing shifts. I hope this you have understood. Simple multiplication with 1 and 0.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this concept we are going to use to design the circuit. Now to design the circuit, we have one full adder and one AND gate. Such circuits are needed. Such I have to arrange it in a form of array. So if it is a 4 by 4 bit, 4 bit into 4 bit multiplication, then I'll be needing 4 into 4 array. Okay, such big will be the circuit. Now since it is only 4 into 4, 16 bits is there. Just a minute, sir. Sorry, there was a lot of disturbance, so I just had to take a pause. Yeah. Where was I? I was just telling the combinational array multiplier circuit will need more number of gates as well as full adders when the number of bits go on increasing. Like if it is a 32 bit, then 32 into 32 I will be needing. If it is a 64 bit, 64 into 64 I will be needing. And moreover, we can only perform unsigned integer multiplication here. So to overcome this problem, we are going to use combinational circuits. That is, we are going to combine array technique and sequential technique. And to do that, we have here a circuit. This is the sequential circuit. In this sequential circuit, we are going to use 3 resistors, 1 adder, 1 multiplexer, and a control sequencer. Now, the multiplier is stored in a register called Q. Multiplicand is stored in another register called M. And we are going to take one more register called A, wherein I am going to store the partial product. So n bit adder is there, which is going to perform addition of the partial product with the multiplicand. Okay, and the answer is kept back into A. And each time it performs, it will be shifted right by 1 bit position. Now this control sequencer, depending on the bit of Q naught, it is going to take a decision whether addition has to be done or only shift has to be performed. So whether add or no add, that is decided. To understand it, we are going to take an example wherein M will contain the multiplicand 13 and Q is containing the multiplier 11. Initially, partial product is 0, so A will contain zeros. So we are going to consider CAQ 3 values to perform the multiplication. So initially, Q naught value will be checked by the sequence controller. If Q naught value is 1, it is going to perform add. What is going to be added? A and M value will be added, and it will store the answer back in A. Okay. Now after performing addition, it is going to perform shift. Shift right by 1 bit position. Now CAQ will be shifted by 1 bit. Now again for the second time, the control sequencer circuit is going to check the Q naught value. If the Q naught value is 1, it is going to perform the same thing. That is, add the new value of A with M and store the answer in A. Right? And shift. Shift along with CA. So CAQ will be shifted by 1 bit position towards right. Now, if the Q naught value is equal to 0, no addition has to be performed, only shift has to be performed. So when no addition is there, the same sequence of sets is repeated and only shift is performed without performing any addition. Okay. Again, Q naught value will be checked. If it is equal to 1, addition will be performed, adding M value with A. So add these two values, store back the answer in A and perform shift. Now, how many times this has to be performed? It has to be performed depending on the number of bits in the multiplier or the multiplicand. Now, there are 4 bits, so 4 times this has to be performed. After performing 4 times, whatever value is there in A and Q will give us the final product. I hope you understood now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you people also just go through it once, then you will understand it more properly. So this is about unsigned multiplication. When we come to signed multiplication means it's a signed number. For example, we have here minus 13 and plus 11. So as you all know, whenever we are going to perform signed number, we try to represent it in 2's complement form. Now, if I consider 2's complement of the signed number, minus 13 is represented as 10011 because using 4 bits we cannot represent minus 13. I need 5 bits. So using 5 bits I can represent minus 13. Using 4 bits I can represent only up to minus 8. I hope you remember. Okay, so minus 13 is represented in this fashion, and 11, since this is 5 bits, 11 is also represented using 5 bits only. So 11 is represented in this fashion. So this is our plus 11, this is our minus 13 using 2's complement. Now how do I perform multiplication? Multiplication is performed just like the previous stage, that is simply perform, previous example, simply perform. If it is 1, write the multiplicand as it is. Now for the second, this one, we have to shift it. Now before we perform this, now as we know this is a signed number, and we also know that the final product will be equal to 2n. Now n is how many bits? N is 5 bits. So final product will be 2 into 5, that is 10 bits. So what we have to do is we have to just extend whatever the last bit is there, we consider it as a signed bit. We just extend the last bit to occupy the remaining bits of the partial product. Okay, so these are 5 bits. So the remaining 5 bits, we are just going to extend the sign bit. That is, if it is 1, we simply write them as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 to make 10 bits. Okay. Now for the next, this is known as sign extension. Next time also, what I do, I check the value of the multiplier. I simply shift it, write the multiplicand, extend the sign bit so that I can add them to the partial product. So the same thing is repeated for all. If you can see here, the last bit is 0, MSB bit. So MSB bit is extended so that we are going to occupy 0, 0, 0 in the partial product. Now similarly for the next stage, you can see here 1 is extended, that is the sign bit. Here 0 is extended. Then I simply perform addition of this partial product. I will get the final result, that is minus 143. Right? This is how we perform signed number multiplication. If you are going to perform signed number multiplication, simply extend the sign. So we have given here, for a negative multiplier, a straightforward solution is to form the 2's complement of both the multiplier and the multiplicand and proceed as in the case of a positive multiplier. Now this is possible because complementation of both operand does not change the value or the sign of the product. If you have both multiplier and multiplicand negative or the multiplier is negative. Okay. So we have one more technique which is called as a Booth's algorithm. If both of them are negative or positive, it will work better. So Booth's algorithm we are going to learn in the next class, or I will upload the video on this. You will see it in the next link. So any doubts in this? Anybody has any doubts, you can ask me. before I go to Booth's algorithm, because Booth's algorithm will take a lot of time. We will see it in the next video. Any doubts? Anybody having any doubts? Yes, any doubts, please?
No, ma'am.
Okay, no doubts. So it is very simple. Whatever we have just seen was the simplest concept. Now, Booth's algorithm and the further topics which I am going to tell will be little bit tricky. So don't miss the videos for that. And one sure question will be there on Booth's algorithm. 10 marks question. Okay. So we'll end the class here. I will take the attendance and I will end the meet.